Hey guys, what's going on? So today we are discussing the buffs and nerfs mainly. We can talk about some other stuff a little bit later, but for the majority of the video we are going to be talking about the balancing changes that has happened. We have all the details now, everything is actually implemented in-game. However, they are currently on another maintenance because I believe the new Labyrinth currency is bugged, so we're just going to be looking at the patch notes here. First, of course, we can see all 4 and 5 star characters' stats have been increased. I believe it was 6%. Around there. At first I thought it wasn't very much, but looking at the numbers, we got 400 more health on Cecilia there, a bit more attack and defense. Does actually seem to be quite significant. So yeah, that's self-explanatory, no need to go deeper into that. We also have some buffs: Dingo, Balin, Sezon, Euphina, Coley. Dingo has a 30% chance to activate one of his other skills. It might be his ultimate, which I believe has some kind of support abilities on it. I'm not familiar with Dingo at all, and I don't see many people using him. As far as I can judge it seems like a decent buff. 30% chance is quite good. I don't know, might have to check him in-game when the maintenance is over. As far as Balin and Sezon are concerned, we got Dark Cloud having its cooldown reduced for a turn, which is always nice, and a higher chance for Last Requiem to have the enemy's speed decreased and make them unhealable for 2 turns. Euphina got a pretty nice buff as well. Basically, Dragon's Roar will just give her attack and speed for 2 turns as well, in addition to what it was doing before, so a pretty nice buff there as well, I would say. Cole got a buff to her ambush, activating ambush again if she's stealthed while doing it. I'm currently on floor 54 of Abyss, and I'm kind of hoping that doesn't apply to the Abyss boss, because that is Coley. But I think that might be the dark or light version, I'm not too sure. And Coley's accurate strike skill will give her a barrier as well now, as well as doing everything it was beforehand. It also seems like Coley's ultimate is getting a buff as well. Instead of their combat readiness just being decreased by 50%, it'll be increased by 25% 3 times, which does kind of sound weird. I would assume they would just say 75% unless there are some kind of diminishing returns on combat readiness reduction. As far as I was aware, you have 100% combat readiness, and if you take 100% off of that, you basically lose your turn. Guess I could be wrong about that, but that's just something I kind of observed while I've been playing. Don't have any raw data, of course, but okay. It just seems like more though. That's 75%, 25% times 3. Also, it seems like now you don't need to be stealth to stun the target, you just will, and then you'll get stealth. All right. But now we get into the nerfs, starting with Tyria, I guess. I actually never pulled her, but I'm kind of, I guess, happy about that because she got obliterated. Her speed was reduced to 96, just because. Her Dance of Sands will no longer grant combat readiness to herself, just all the other allies. It used to be all allies. And I think the most damaging thing is she can't defense break anymore, just flat out. Can't defense break anymore. She had a 75% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns, and that's just removed now. I guess she'll deal extra damage proportional to the target's max health. I've never noticed a massive difference in damage from those types of skills, and even before it was still proportional to the enemy's current health. So, but yeah, I think there is no argument that Tyria, however you say that, has been destroyed. I think she was mainly used for her defense break, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, they just completely removed that. So, rip, I guess. But yeah, again, I never actually pulled her. Elson also got pretty much destroyed, which I did raise and build, but hey, we have the recall system, so can't really be angry about it. I kind of thought Elson was getting nerfed just because of the defense buff getting nerfed and him being nerfed as a side effect of that. However, it turns out that's not the case. He has 2 turns added to his 3rd skill cooldown. So even after it's awakened, it'll be a 5-turn cooldown instead of a 3-turn cooldown. So yeah, that kind of ruins Elson, I would say. He's probably still okay, he's probably okay if you don't have any other buffers. I don't, so I'm probably not going to recall him right now. But as soon as I find a decent buffer, he's gone, because he's just average now. Especially with the defense buff being nerfed, it's just one thing too much. If they were to increase his cooldown by 1 turn, that would be okay. That would be understandable. And I'd say but 2 turns is too much. 2 turns is 1 turn too much to make him still, a solid part of a team, I would say, because besides his buff, he doesn't do anything. 50% chance for a 1-turn attack down, a tiny bit of healing on his second skill, The only thing he really had was that third skill, and that's pretty much useless now. For longer fights, like for Arena, it's probably still fine, in my experience at least, down in Scrubland. I'd say the majority of fights are kind of decided within the first few turns before he would normally get another buff up anyway. But I mean, probably up in higher leagues, Arena does last much longer, and everyone's experience may be different. We also have Ricorous here. I believe these are all nerfs now. Ricorous, I don't really know much about him at all, but he has his cheer increased for a turn, and continuous healing has been just removed. That's probably a shame for Ricorous users because, you know, continuous healing is quite nice. Axe God, I think, is still good. He doesn't seem to have been nerfed that hard. It seems like he doesn't get the attack buff anymore. Instead, it's bleeding, so that does kind of hurt. But I figured they would increase the cooldown of his Plagued Strike, which I think is the best thing about him, to 4 turns, not 2 turns. But it's only a 3-turn cooldown now, so that means you do kind of have to wait 1 turn without that defense break, instead of him practically having it continuously. So I definitely think he's still good. 80% chance, 2-turn defense down on a 3-turn cooldown. Mukacha, whatever he's called, went from being bad, then he got buffed, and then he was like kind of good, and now he's like bad again. I think he got buffed. Or maybe I just, no, he did get buffed, yeah. So, I mean, we got a 20% damage increase on the Ancient Spear Art. So I guess you can consider that a buff, but his passive, Wild, got a massive nerf, making it practically useless. So it used to increase speed of all allies by 2.5% up to a max of 4 each time he attacked up to 5 times. Now, it increases only his own speed by 1% up to 2% each time the caster attacks up to 5 times. So essentially up to 20% speed for all allies versus up to 10% of speed just for him. That's probably one of the biggest nerfs I've ever seen. Also, his ultimate skill is in the same vein as his passive. Instead of increasing speed for all allies, it'll just increase speed for himself. That also did get a damage increase of 25%, but I don't think it makes up for that. He still does have a potentially 100% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns. I believe that is on still a somewhat long cooldown. Maybe it's 4 turns, which if it is actually 4 turns isn't super bad, considering you can get that up to 100%. The Butcher Corpse Inquisitor had a bug, I guess, or not really a bug, but when his passive activated, that decreases damage, and when a damage decrease overlaps, then it was reducing more damage than intended, and I guess now he just won't exceed 50% of his max health with 1 attack. The Sasha Ithanis, whatever, you know, I'm bad with pronunciations because I don't ever see those words in real life. That got a pretty massive nerf as well, practically halving the combat readiness. In addition, it won't overlap with any other artifacts. I guess it kind of used to do that before. I remember saying when I was first going over the dev note and how it said this artifact was getting nerfed, I was like, I don't have this, but I've heard about it. I actually do have this. I have like 4 of them. I just didn't realize it. But yeah, pretty significant nerf there. This 5-star exclusive mage artifact, Time Matter, had a bug with it, apparently, or the issue that caused the artifact effects to be cleared when a non-attack skill is used after Time Matter is activated has been fixed. Rod of Amaryllis, one of the only 5-star artifacts I have, doesn't seem to be getting buffed or nerfed, I guess. The ally with the lowest percentage of max health will be healed 12 to 24%. So I guess basically what that means is it'll go to the one which visually has the least health instead of which one actually has the lowest current number of HP, I guess. Improvements in restoration of materials used when enhancing skills. Oh yes, we went over this as well. I haven't been enhancing skills very much, but I did get like 7 Molagoras back, which was kind of cool, I guess. Mulagora Gora won't even exist anymore, and if you did use any, or if you had any, you can exchange them for 25 Molagoras, which is pretty nice. It seems we'll also have a week of free unequipping gear. I heard that's only going to be for the nerfed units, but perhaps it's for everyone. We also got various bugs and things fixed and different little changes that aren't super important. I mean, of course, bug fixes are important. there's nothing really to add there. So yeah, that was the main thing I wanted to go over. Of course, we can talk about the various other things. Kayron coming. Basically, he just looks like a DPS. Probably a strong one. He does have a pretty special passive though. He'll get immortality for a turn when he receives lethal damage. That'll also reset the skill cooldown of Apocalypse, which is his main skill, and I assume will do a lot of damage. Also, when he's buffed and using Void Slash, so his main skill, that'll become an AoE. So yeah, I might consider going for him. I don't have really any good fire heroes, so... Also, Sid and Chloe have been added to Moonlight Summons. I don't care about them as a 5-star light type, you know? Even a 4-star dark type, I'm never gonna see them. Probably 99.9% of you guys neither. Got a couple new artifacts as well. 5-star Soul Weaver artifact, healing the ally with the lowest percentage of max health by 8% when using a basic skill. So actually very similar to Destina's basic skill. So I think giving that to Destina might be pretty good as well. It would basically increase the effectiveness of that. I hope it stacks though. And Ambrote, 4-star Ranger exclusive, which increases damage dealt by basic skill. I think that's up to 20%, yeah, and this is an event one, as far as I'm aware. You can run the Kayron, I believe there's a Kayron challenge mission you can run and farm this. So easy to unlock that max potential, I would say, since you can farm them. But of course, raising artifacts is pretty hard, considering the artifact charms aren't super common. We also have the other half of Eulogy for a Saint unlocked. Already gone through most of it, still enjoying the story. But I haven't finished it quite yet. I'll finish it before this goes up, so don't bother trying to spoil anything too late. And yeah, of course, some new currency to spend in the shop, all good stuff. The recall system, I find it funny how they use Elson as the recall example, because a lot of people probably are going to recall Elson, myself included most likely. I'm just not too sure who I'm going to replace him with yet. Like, I still kind of want the defense buff, but not on a 5-turn cooldown. And of course, yeah, this is all just saying you'll get the stuff back, blah, blah, blah. You can also do that with artifacts. And of course, one of the bigger pieces of stuff coming in this update is the new Raid Labyrinth, which I haven't checked out yet. I believe I don't even have 2 entries, but I guess I could buy one with a leaf or something, or even crystals. Because I do kind of want to check that out as well. You have to clear 5-9 on world difficulty to enter. I think either we have cleared 5, like we're barely there. So you gotta know this is gonna be tough as hell. Damn. 5-9 on world difficulty. Cool. Alright, resets Monday. You'll start with 70 morale instead of 50. Everything takes the same amount, so a battle is 7, going is 1, warping is 3. But look at this, once you get down to -31, you are losing 85% of your attack, health, defense, and speed instead of only 50% like it is in the normal labyrinth. So you may start with more, but practically once you get down to -31, you probably gotta leave anyway. Looks like these enemies are only level 48 though, so maybe it won't be super hard, and you can get Moonlight bookmarks there. That's pretty exciting. All the stuff you can get there, I think we already talked about that in the developer note. Some stuff you can exchange, all that good stuff. Equipment, I believe there are new sets as well. The immunity set, unity set, rage set. They all seem pretty interesting. Ooh, it's only 4% dual attack chance. That doesn't seem like a lot. Immunity for 1 turn at the start of the battle, that would probably be good for arena. And damage if the attacker has a debuff. So if you got some debuffers in your team, especially some AoE debuffers, that could be really good as well. We'll also have a tutorial for Raid Labyrinth, so yeah, you'll probably learn everything you need to there anyway. And the challenge battle here to farm that artifact. You can also get some other things, some charms, good stuff. I think that's actually it. Yeah, like I said, I mainly wanted to focus on the buffs and nerfs for this video. The other stuff, like I said, we mostly talked about in the other video, and I don't think there's a lot of things super important in here besides those buffs and nerfs, because that was the thing we really got the big updates on. But I guess that'll pretty much do it for now. I'm not too sure yet if I'm going to be making another video today going into that new labyrinth and such, but we'll see. I'm not feeling too great today either. Still kind of getting over my cold, but almost back to 100%. Anyway, make sure to tell me what you think about the buffs, nerfs, and everything else in this update in the comments down below. Leaving a like if you happen to enjoy is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.